the Gospel according to Luke. Jesus went on into Jericho and was passing through. There was a chief tax collector there named Zacchaeus, who was rich. He was trying to see who Jesus was, but he was a little man and could not see Jesus because of the crowd. So he ran ahead of the crowd and climbed a sycamore tree to see Jesus, who was coming to pass that way. When Jesus came to that place, he looked up and said to Zacchaeus, "Hurry down, Zacchaeus, because I must stay in your house today." Zacchaeus hurried down and welcomed him with great joy. All the people who saw it started grumbling. "This man has gone as a guest to the home of a sinner." Zacchaeus stood up and said to the Lord, "Listen, sir, I will give half my belongings to the poor, and if I have cheated anyone, I will pay back 4 times as much." Jesus said to him, "Salvation has come to this house today, for this man also is a descendant of Abraham. The Son of Man came to seek and to save the lost." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Sierra, Ariam, anybody know anything about Jameson?
He's always a good guy.
Kaylin,
So when Jesus is like, I'm gonna give up all my half of my stuff and 4 times my stuff, does that mean his sins were forgiven, like he did with the good thing? And Jesus was like, yeah, do that. Or did Jesus be like, yeah, I don't really care, I'm just gonna go to your house, see how you say it.
is that a prerequisite to get our sins forgiven?
No,
We gotta do stuff?
We could.
What about the other 2?
But Jesus cares about everyone no matter what they sin. He just wants us to turn away from our sins and turn to him. Anything like that.
What about you, Kaylin? Why is Zacchaeus called a sinner?
because he's a tax collector.
You know, Kaylin?
Because he cheated.
You cheated people?
Yeah.
Why were tax collectors so despised?
Because I worked for the Romans.
Because they took money from people and people didn't like that, so they broke.
Well, the IRS takes money from me, but I don't think I despise the IRS, Internal Revenue Service.
They worked for the Romans.
So why is that a bad thing?
Because the Romans were not great people and that was against their religion.
Giving money is against their religion?
Taken. No, working for the Romans.
read the first reading, I still have to read it, cause some of you didn't believe it was in here. Book of Revelations. Jesus says, because you are lukewarm, neither hot nor cold, I'm going to spit you out of my mouth. That's this translation. Another translation said, I'm gonna vomit you out of my mouth. When he's talking to these other churches. And Zacchaeus. We got two. Zacchaeus on one side. Is he hot or cold?
Cold. Hot.
What's it mean when Jesus says, because you are neither hot or cold? Because you're lukewarm. Who likes drinking lukewarm water? You like lukewarm? How come?
It tastes better.
Sometimes if you don't want cold water, but.
So what about soda? You like lukewarm soda?
I actually don't
No.
know. I don't know what people
How come?
dislike it. It's just gross.
Lukewarm water is good. Mm.
Okay, like, I don't know why everyone hates lukewarm soda. Like, I drink lukewarm soda all the time.
Drink warm soda.
Look, it honestly soda's better when it's
I'll
cold.
drink it without even a refrigerator.
Drink it when it's cold. Way better. If you drink
Well,
warm-
and
if you
that's
drink warm
analogy of Jesus being lukewarm, we said, means you're just what?
And
Bland,
don't care.
basic.
You don't care.
Nominal.
Don't really care, just going through the motions. How does Zacchaeus show that he was really hot for Jesus?
By giving away all his stuff.
Even before that, he showed it.
Climbing up the tree to see Jesus.
Climbing up the tree to see Jesus. He's willing to be what?
Make fun of.
People would look at him and they'd what?
Make fun of.
Wave.
Yeah, they'd laugh. Look at Zacchaeus climbing a tree. It's undignified. So something happened. There was a conversion of heart that happened to Zacchaeus. Just like that. So if he said, I'm gonna give all the money, half my money to the poor and pay back 4 times as much, people I cheated, then that already told us that he had cheated them, right? So he had a conversion. It's what each of us needs. But it doesn't mean when Jesus said, he came to call who? The last line there. Son of Man came to seek and to save the lost. Who are the lost?
People who don't believe in God.
You say we lost.
But if we tie it together with the first reading, who are the lost?
The people
Us.
who don't like God.
If we're going through the motions, we're lost.
Complacent.
If we're complacent, we're lost. The church is gonna have, that's what Advent's about, trying to wake us up from our complacency and another word for that is lethargy. Lethargy is what some of us, lethargy is what I get when I watch football continuously on a Sunday. One game after the other, and then when I'm done, you just feel lethargic.
Is the Vikings missed a field goal?
Why would someone make
What?
that?
Is the Vikings missed a field goal?
No, because they won.
Because you're sitting and doing what? Nothing. We weren't created to sit and do nothing. So when we find ourselves that way, usually that means we should be doing what?
Pray.
We should repent. Zacchaeus gave his evidence of conversion by doing the actions. The actions didn't cause him to be forgiven. He was forgiven the minute what?
Yeah, it's short.
The minute his heart changed, he was forgiven. They don't really say that in there, but you know what happened because why? What was the witness? What was Zacchaeus' witness that his heart was converted?
He climbed the tree.
Jesus directed.
Climbed the tree and he promised to what?
Pay people back.
He's going to pay them all back. More than he stole from them.
Where's he gonna get this money?
From the people who.
From himself. He was a very wealthy man. But he's demonstrating that once wealth was the most important thing to him, now what? No, it doesn't. He's gonna give half of his money away. And then pay 4 times as much. So how much money is he gonna have left?
Not as much.
Not very little, probably. But it doesn't mean anything to him anymore.
If he gets his money from taxing the people,
Yeah, well, he didn't cheat everyone. He still gets money.
Whose feast day today? Whose feast day was yesterday? Let's see if we're little.
Saint Elizabeth of Hungary.
Saint Gertrude, right? Today's Saint Elizabeth of Hungary. What do you know about Saint Elizabeth?
She's from Hungary.
I know that.
Many of the saints, both male and female, seemed hardly to have been able to wait until their spouses died so that they could get on with entering monasteries and founding religious orders and doing saintly things. Saint Elizabeth of Hungary was not one of them. She was madly, passionately in love with her husband, Louis IV of Thuringia. She would hold his hand at night while he slept, and when he died during the Crusades, she screamed and raved for days throughout the castle. There's no one way to be a saint. Many, like Francis of Assisi, espoused radical poverty and isolation as the surest road to heaven. Others, like Saint Elizabeth of Hungary, took a different approach. Instead of renouncing all the good things of the world, they reformed them. She, for instance, was always depleting the castle stores to give alms to the poor, but her husband, who loved her as much as she loved him, never seemed to mind. While it may be intriguing to read about saints who took their sanctity to extremes, most of us aren't interested in leaving everything and heading off to a monastery. Besides, there aren't many monasteries to join anymore. For most of us, holiness comes from living out our lives with the kind of lust for life that St. Elizabeth of Hungary exhibited. We will find sanctity not amid sackcloth and ashes, but in the loving embrace of our spouse and the kisses of our children. What's sanctity mean? We'll find sanctity.
Cleansing. Holy.
It's another name for holiness. Listen to my voice and follow me. It sounds simple, but it's not always easy. There are lots of different voices, and they're all saying, follow me, this is the way for you to go. If you listen to the world, it will lead you down a path filled with glitter, glamour, and fun at first. But all too soon, the glitter, glamour, and fun will run out, and you will be all alone. Even some Christian voices confuse you, saying, sing this song, not that one. Pray this way, not that way. Like the Pharisees of the Bible, they make up rules that I never intended. But I died to set you free from man-made rules. How do you know which voice is mine? Spend time with me, quiet time in prayer and praise. Just as good friends know each other's voices, you will come to know mine, and I will tell you the right way to go.